Hi everybody, this is Supreme Understanding and I am back with another video, another topic that I've been thinking about. And I think about this a lot because I have three daughters and I'm just trying to raise them differently than how I was brought up. Not saying that I was raised wrong, but I feel like I was raised in the 90s and the 90s was a different mindset, and a lot of things that are cropping up now, I feel like took their root in the 90s. There's this new movement, current movement with this modern woman thing, with women. And I just feel like women are getting further and further away from what their roles in society actually are. I feel like growing up, I was taught, and a lot of girls were taught, that you have to be this educated career woman who's strong and independent, and that you can go out and you can do whatever a man can do, and no one can stop you. And I feel like that has been one of the most detrimental things to ever hit women in our society ever. Like, I don't know about other countries. I don't know about other regions, but I know in America that has been detrimental to us because the product of that thinking has been groups and generations of women who feel like they have to be strong and independent and have to get this education, and they don't need a man. They're not looking to get married. They float from relationship to relationship. They float from man to man. And it's created like a toxic mindset. You have women who are competing basically with men because there's no division anymore, because you've made men masculine, and the masculinity that the men possess, you have dampened that out to the point where they are acting in their feminine. You have generations of women acting in their masculine energy all the time. And there's a masculine component and a feminine component to both men and women. You can step into your masculine energy for a variety of different things, but to live in it is different. And I think we have women who are living in their masculine energy. You have these women, they go to college, they get degrees, they get these careers, and they're feminine on the outside, but they're living masculine lifestyles. For example, they provide for themselves. If something breaks in the house, they fix it. If there's yard work, they do it. If there's anything masculine that needs to be done in their life, they handle it because they have been reared and taught and conditioned to think that, this is what I do. I'm a woman. I can do anything a man can do. I don't need a man. And the thing is, we need men. We need them. The entire infrastructure of America is based on men. Who do you think builds these buildings and these highways and these streets and stocks these stores? It's men. They're behind the infrastructure of the society that we live in. But I feel like we are emasculating them and pushing them away because we have learned and been conditioned to compete with them by the feminist movement. I just feel like men have never really competed with us for our roles. Our roles in society is to be a helpmate to men, is to nurture them and guide them and lead them. Well, not lead them, guide them, because they're supposed to lead us. But they've never competed with us on those levels. They never did that, but I feel like we're always competing with them. So let's just say, you grew up trying to being a career woman and an independent woman, and you get married and you have that mindset, and you're a go-getter or a bad bitch or whatever you call it, and you have that mindset. Then you get married to a man who is trying to fulfill his role as a provider and leader for you. But every time he tries to provide and lead for you, you butt heads. He can't tell you what to do because you're independent. So he can't lead you. He cannot provide for you because you've been taught to provide for yourself. Oh, my camera's shaking. But you've been taught to provide for yourself. So, you butt heads because now this person that you married or even boyfriend, girlfriend with, you are competing with. But you've been conditioned to do that by the society that you live in. If you grew up in the 90s, and you kind of know what I mean, because in the 90s, it was rampant. Everybody was strong and independent, and women can be mechanics too, and they can do this too and do that too. But yes, we can do the same careers men can do, but why do them? Why not leave it to the men? Because their bodies and their minds are more equipped for those things. For example, they say we need more women scientists. That's I understand. There's a shortage of women who are scientists. Yes. But why not let men do it? Men think more logically than women do. They do. That's the way their minds and their brains are wired. They're better at logical thinking. They're better at spatial reasoning. They're better at problem solving. So why not just let them keep the careers they've dominated for centuries? Just because men dominated a career for centuries don't mean that we come in busting through the doors, breaking down barriers to compete with them in that. Let them have their stuff. They don't come and try to take our things and over our career paths. And, we don't see a whole bunch of men hopping on trying to be nurses and hopping on trying to work in the childcare field and hopping on trying to be teachers. Yes, there are male teachers. Yes, there are men who work in the childcare field. Yes, there are male nurses, but they're not trying to bust down barriers to compete with us. They're leaving us the hell alone and letting us take over our roles that we have always done. So let them have theirs. You don't have to compete with men. You don't have to take over their career choices. You don't have to be this strong, independent, educated woman, because where is it going to get you? If you marry a man, he needs you to be a wife for him. This strong and independent is nice, but if you were to get married, you're so strong and independent, you never learn how to cook or clean or nurture because you're too busy acting in your masculine 24/7 because that's what you've been conditioned to do. Do you not realize, I don't think we realize that this has been detrimental to women and men on both sides. Being a strong, independent woman is not what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a helpmate and a wise guide for men, and they're supposed to provide and protect you. And I feel like we have generations of young women who don't get that. They're so busy being strong, independent, they have never learned how to be a woman. They have never learned that it is okay to be a housewife. They have never learned that growing up and aspiring to be a housewife is perfectly fine. You do not have to aspire to go to college. If you want to just grow up and get married and work with your husband and he provide for you and you nurture your children, that's fine. That's what your role is actually supposed to be. We shun that because we have been taught backwards. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm at the point in my life where I realize this as going into my 30s, that is the role that we are supposed to be. I don't want to teach my daughters to be strong, educated, and independent. I don't. I want them to teach them to go out and do the roles that they are meant to do in this society. Fall into their femininity and do those roles. If they want to go to school, that's fine, but don't be so educated and independent that you forget what your roles are. So let's say you ever get married, you have to remember that this is how you are supposed to be in a marriage. This is how you're supposed to be in a relationship. You don't go out and compete with men in their masculine positions. I would encourage my daughters to do a job or career path that falls in lines with how women think. Women don't think, I don't think women think logically enough to be scientists and mathematicians. I'm not saying that we're stupid. I'm just saying men's brains are more wired for those types of career paths. I would suggest a career path for my daughters that we are wired for. Don't go after their stuff. They don't compete with us. I feel like we are competing with them, and it's making strife between males and females, men and women. It's creating a rift between us. Men didn't start feminism. We did. And I feel like it's wrong. I feel like we were influenced by other forces in order to tear society apart. It's the detrimental thing. So this independent, strong, educated woman thing needs to die because it's not doing us any good. And I'm going to raise my daughters not to be that, but to realize they need men. We need them. We don't need them just for babies. We need them because it's a balance between the masculine and the feminine. We need them and they need us. So that is my point about that topic for today. And I hope you all enjoyed it and tell me what you think. And for now, this is Supreme Understanding signing off. Have a wonderful night and bye.